everybody, it's Elizabeth with the Noonan Carnegie Library, and today we are going to make some tile coasters. So this is a DIY that we're going to make out of tiles that you can get at Home Depot. Super cheap. These are usually about 50 cents a piece. And we're going to use just regular paper, and you can get this at Michael's and various other locations where they sell craft supplies. And it's just single-sided, printed with different patterns. And they're going to come out looking like very nice tile coasters. So we're also going to put a little piece of felt on the bottom. So we're going to cut our felt about 3 by 3 because our tiles are about 4 by 4. And we're going to use the tile as a template to cut our paper. And we want our paper to be just about the same size as the tile or just a little bit less so there's not too much overhang. And to do our tile coasters, we are going to put the paper on with Mod Podge, and we'll put a layer down on the top of the tile, and then we'll put the paper down, and then we'll put a layer down on the top. And once that dries, you're going to seal it with a clear glaze. And you can use a spray-on glaze for this, or you can also use a brush-on glaze. Just something to make it waterproof on the top, and you just want the top to be waterproof, so just glaze the paper itself and down. You know, if it drips a little on the sides, that's fine, but what you'll want to happen is when you put a cup on and it sweats, the water will drip over the sides and it won't destroy the paper, but the tile itself will be able to absorb that water before it touches your tabletop surface. So we're also going to do a grab and go kit for these at the library, and they'll include 2 of these tiles, probably 4 little pieces of paper to choose from for colors, and 2 pieces of felt to go on the bottom, and the Mod Podge. You'll have to provide the glaze, and you'll want to get yourself a little foam brush to use to apply everything. So the first step on this is to make sure that your paper is the right size. So lay your tile down on the corner of the paper, and then trace the edge. And what you'll want to do is just cut along the inside of the line that you've made. So it's a little bit shorter than what you have traced. So then what you'll have is a piece of paper. It's about the same size as your tile, and maybe just a teeny little bit less. So it's okay if you've got a little bit of white showing around the edges. That's what you want. All right. So you'll need a little water for when you're applying your Mod Podge. Pour yourself a little bit out. Yours will come in the kit in a little container like that, and you don't need a whole lot. And get your brush wet. And put a nice layer of the Mod Podge down on your tile. Cover the whole surface. Paper up nice and neat. Make sure it's down good on the Mod Podge that you put down on the underneath, and that's going to act as an adhesive to hold that paper in place. And the other thing you want to do then is coat the outside edge of that with the Mod Podge. Make sure it's good and adhered to your surface. And get a good strong coat of that on there. And you're going to want to let that dry for probably 20 or 30 minutes before you put your acrylic coating on to seal it. And so once you've got that on there good, you can rinse your brush in the water and let that sit and dry. And so while that's drying, I'm going to go and get my glue gun so that before we apply our final step of the acrylic, I can put the felt on the back. And you can adhere this felt on the back with a glue gun and hot glue, or you can use just some craft glue, just whatever will make it stick good. So whatever you've got at home that'll work for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that taken care of. I'll go get the glue gun and come back while that's drying, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, so that's had a chance to dry, and now that it's good and dry, we're going to go ahead and put the felt onto the back. And I'm going to do that with a hot glue gun, but you could also use something like a clear tacky glue. Any kind of good craft glue will work. Good coat of glue in there. And get it nice and centered in the bottom. And just tack it down real good. And so that'll give you a surface that won't scratch your tabletops and that sort of thing. And will also absorb a little liquid if need be. And then for the last step, the last thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to want to get a hold of some clear glaze acrylic. And like I said, you can get the spray kind, or you can also get the kind that brushes on. Either one will work really good. And you're going to want to let that dry overnight before you put anything onto the surface of your coaster. So, get you a good solid coat on. And that's going to smell. You might want to open a window or run a fan when you're putting on your glaze. Or work outdoors, either way is good. And so get you a good coat of glaze on, and then set that aside to dry. And you want to let that dry overnight. And that's going to give you a nice shiny waterproof surface. And I did my coasters in some colors that kind of go together. So that looks, those will all match. But you can do whatever paper you want. And like I said, the kits that we're going to do will have some color choices for you. But you can always go by Michael's and pick up whatever kind of paper you like and get as creative as you like with that. This works with any paper at all. And it's just Mod Podge, clear glaze, tile, paper, and felt. So I hope you guys enjoyed that craft, and I hope that you will join me for future crafts. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and look at our webpage at noonandcarnegie.com for other programs and other crafts and various things that we're doing for you guys. And thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.